Welcome back everyone. Today we're in the Giants editor and I'm Jewel, and as you can see we're on the 10.0.9 version for Farming Simulator 25, and we're going to be working on the paper mill. Now as you can see it's the one from Riverbend, and I will show some of the other ones later on. There is at least one other one for sure. I'd have to double check and see if there's any more. I know there's one that's kind of a rusted looking thing. But this is that one that has all this intricate detail work that you're gonna have to do, and so yeah. I've been molding for like hours just to kind of get it ready enough to do at least the XML work for y'all, to show y'all it works and what to do, just to show you, get it kind of situated. It's not finished, obviously. I would have to continue molding to get it finished up, get this down low enough, get that up, mold it into place. I got most of it where y'all can at least get the idea to where, see, that's not quite right. We got to finish that. But you can see that most of it's done enough. We got to make the ground come up and stuff like that. Let's do that little piece here. Click on the sculpt mode. If you don't already have you got to be patient because mine takes a second, so depending on what yours does. It says left mouse button replace. Make sure you have it on replace, and I usually keep it up, and then I keep this smooth right mouse button up too, usually, and unless I need to take it down lower. You could change it with this little dial here to go less smooth or more smooth, and so on, faster, and it goes better. Alright, so we're gonna, if you'll hover over the area you want where this little thing is and hit Control R as in Richard, it'll grab this level, and then I can come and bring it up right here, and it'll take all that out of there like so. And so then you can make it go lower, and then you can hit the right mouse button to smooth it. And if you go too far like we did here, you can Control R right there on this height and gently tap it, because you're still going to go right back in under the bottom if you don't be careful. And I'm not going to try to get it all right on this episode, because I'll mold all that later when I'm not having to worry with it and just take time. But you can see you need to bring these pieces here up to the level. And again, I've showed how to do that. But briefly, I'm going to show you. You would click on Create, click Transform Group, and it'll pop up a transform group down here. Then you can you don't have to name it, but if you were to name it, you could name it there. But you don't need to name it because you're just using it like a measuring tool. Roll into the spot you're going to be needing to do. Hit Control B as in boy, and then left mouse click, left mouse click. Okay, it didn't work. I didn't click on the thing good enough. Alright, so there we go. Control B, left mouse click, and it'll bring this in here. Now you notice the gizmo's not looking right, so we got to click up here, translation mode. Click it to get the wheel back, or the gizmo piece. You know, you got translation mode, you got rotation mode, and then you got scaling mode. So each one of those, depending on if you turn it off, turns that off, then this one turns that off. So it just depends on whatever you're doing, um, but you need to get that, and then say that's the level you want this fence to go in the ground at. Then you will come to the Translate Y, click on that, right click, copy, click height in the texture box, roll down to the replace box in the sculpting area, right click and paste it in there. You're putting that number there so the ground will go to this level. You're going to hit the sculpt mode again, and we'll just briefly do this one little spot. We're not going to do it all. I'll do that off screen. And then you'll get this down a little, roll it with your scroll wheel to get it kind of at a smaller level, because if you have it too big, it's going to go all over here too. You don't want to replace it all over there, so roll on down, and you can see you can lift it up. You left click and it replaces the ground to that level. And as you can see, you could go as far as you needed, and then just get it out a little further than the fence, and then you can hit the smooth button to smooth it out. And you just roll it down a little because you're getting close to over there, so you don't want to mess that side up, and just smooth it out and so on. Alright, so that's just an example of how to do that. And if you just keep going every single spot. Roll on over here and hit Control B is in boy, left mouse click, and click over here, right click, copy, height, click in this box, right click, paste, and then roll back over here and sculpt mode and then do it. Okay, you get the point. Alright, and you just do that all along, getting your levels and smoothing and making it, and then get it all the way, get it here, get it there. You'd have to make this come on out because it's probably going to be like some sort of entryway. So, and then basically I'm going to show you how to get this in here. We don't have a spot up here. We'll make a little spot here for water to that would make sense for it to come down. But as you can see, you get the basics. Okay, so these pieces come with this building. So if you click on the building, you see they come with it, and the fence comes with it if you have the whole entire thing selected. Now you can notice that I have it in a transform group, and that was so I could move it all together and get it placed. See this gizmo? It was so I could get closer to here and move it instead of being so far away like over at a 0, 0. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did that for. Now let me explain what that means. So what we'll do is go up to the one up here. There should be another one. These we got to delete. I had some I was testing where I was going to put it. So we'll just pick one. You would click on it and I'll hit F to go there. Okay. And I was trying to decide, as you see over here, I was thinking, well, what if I put it here? Because I got waterfalls up here. And I was thinking of maybe sticking it over here, but then I changed my mind because I just don't really want it up this high. But anyway, you see now it's just the paper mill, the whole group here, and you can move it with that one. But let me see. I had to have. Seems like I needed a more. I must have added in that other piece. But this one has one right up close. I don't know. Let me see the other one. Does the original have one up close? I'm sure it does. Yeah, it does. I guess I wanted it close over here. I must have wanted it closer to where I was having problems. I was having issues over here. I'm going to show you what they were. This wasn't going in the right spot. It was hitting the water. And if you put it in the right spot over here, like that, then this side over here was hitting the water, and it don't go, see how it's hitting? It couldn't get it low enough to make sense like it is in game. So that's why I probably put that gizmo here. So I made a transform group and Control B the transform group to right here. Let me just do it and show you. So that transform group we made, we'll just bring it. So pretend I made another transform group. Click that. It came up a transform group. Hit Control B, left mouse click, left mouse click. I stuck it here so I could get right here, not way over there. I wanted to be close to what I was trying to look at. Okay, that's probably why I did one when it had one closer. Alright, so that's how you do that, and then you'll take that paper mill. So you would click on it, make sure you got the whole group right here, and then you hit the middle scroll wheel, and then you would hold it down, and then drag while you're holding the middle scroll wheel down until you see this highlight, and then let go with your middle scroll wheel, and it'll throw this building in this transform group, and that would get you this little gizmo right where you wanted to try to move and do things, right? So it would move the whole group. This right here, if I had done it, would move this whole building at a closer spot to where you're trying to move it and look and test. Okay, so that's how you do that. But anyway, we're not going to be doing this one. This one will get deleted, and we'll remold the ground in some other way. Because I decided I didn't want it there because I put my spinnery there, and I just didn't like the way it was falling. I couldn't make another level of water up that high, so I just chose not to put it there. So anyway, so what you're going to do, let me go back to the original, or the one we're working on, and let me see. It's over here. So basically, and I hadn't finished obviously molding the ground. I got it just as much as I could get to get a video going. I still got to get this wall down lower, as you see. It's underground and stuff, but I got most of everything else. I got these areas, I got these little things, I got this side, I got the pond over here, and I'm going to show you how to get this water in here. And then I was having problems when I did it previously when it was on that other side, but I had brought it in from the map. Like, you know how I showed y'all how to open the Riverbend map in the Giants editor and export selection with files? I had done it that way, and it was causing issues to where it would go there and I could get it. I would put it within the group, meaning I would put the water within the thing so that it would land exactly how it should. Let me show y'all. Well, I really don't need to do it right now, but I will show y'all because it'll take a while for that to open since it's not already open. But essentially, remember how I showed y'all how if you needed a piece in Riverbend, you can create a transform group and then take the pieces like this and drop in that transform group, and then export it selection with files, that whole everything you threw in it, so that it would all land together. This water would land exactly with this building together the way it is here, or the way it would be in Riverbend. That was how I was trying to do it, but the reason it didn't work was the water somehow was saying there would be water somewhere else. Like the level of this water clear across the map, at that same level they were saying there was water. So at my sawmill it was underwater. Let me go show you. Wherever my sawmill was, I went in, I didn't even look at that anymore, and I was doing my sawmill video, which I had to redo or edit that out. And I came in here and all this was underwater, even though it's not. But it was nothing, no water really there. It was because of that water plane. And it was saying that this was underwater all the way up to about right here. So all my stuff was underwater in game, but not in here. So it was just because it was recognizing the height of that water that was wherever I had put it. Oh, it was higher and it was up to that level, so it was saying water over the whole map at that level. And it's done that to me before. I showed a video, I think it was in 22 or 19, I can't remember. You could look at it and I explained a little about it, but I don't know a ton about it, but I know it's an issue. So if you have that issue, I found one way around it, and I'm hoping it still works when I go back in game, but it did work, and I got it in there from the original thing, but not from the Giants editor. So I'm going to show you how I did it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your FS25, wherever you installed it. Okay, so let's make a new folder just to help you. Go to C drive if you have it in C or D or wherever you have it. You might have it in Program Files 86, Steam if you happen to have that, Steam Apps, Common, and then whatever Farm Sim game. Mine's in D drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Farm Sim 25, and then in this case you would go to Data, and let me see, in this case we would go to Maps, Maps US, and Textures. Now what I did is I brought in this water plane thing right here. So what I'm just showing you the path right now, but I just imported it straight into the map. Okay? And you can see it over here right there. Okay, that's it. Now I had to do something after that, but I'm going to show you real quick, okay? So I'll try to show you. Where is that other one? Let's go to that other one, and I won't do the whole thing, but I will try to show you somewhat what to do. Let's go back over to this other one, because it will make more sense if I show you one that hadn't been done. Now pretend that water ain't there, because we got to deal with all this. Alright, so what you're going to do is the path I just showed you, you're going to go File. Well, scratch that. We'll do that in just a second. You need to get your building first and pick where you're going to put it. You need to make sure that these are higher than what you're gonna have for your normal main water level. So if you have, unless you're gonna make just a little pond or something it goes into, the end of this needs to go into something. So see, this is a water thing spinning, water wheel, and then it goes, and there's water here, and then it goes off into here, goes out, and comes into here. Now, you don't have to have it going into a massive water like that. You could just put it into a pond or whatever you want to do, but I had it going into there. So, whatever level that your water is, if you have a big main one like this that's over your whole map and it's at the same level, and you want this building to pour into it, I'm going to tell you what my tips of what I had to do, and we're still going to have to make another water plane for this little small area that'll be a different level than this piece. But what you're going to do is going to come down, and you'll see a barrel. See this barrel? You're going to get your water level. You're gonna import this paper mill if you didn't already have it in the productions area. If you brought the whole group in, you already got the building. If you already have the building, click on it and bring it to where you want it, and then where your water level is, put this barrel about right here. Roughly speaking, about right here. I'll show you when we get back to the other one, and that will determine the correct level that they had it in Riverbend for this side, and that the bridge would make sense. Okay, but the problem I was running into with their water plane was the one that they had that was running all over like a river next to here, and it ran off all the way and all twisted and going every which way. It's a massive piece, and we can't use that for this map because it wouldn't make sense. So I'm going to have to make a separate water plane just for this side, so that this lands at that level. Because if you put the barrel, let me find it again. If you put that barrel over here at this level, it's at an angle because their water is at an angle. Okay, so my modification, what I'm gonna do, it may not be perfect, but what I'm gonna do is make this one separate so that it suddenly hides it under the bridge, and then the level change can happen, and then on this side of the bridge it will make sense, right? And then that side will somehow angle it, or however we got to do it. We'll probably try to angle it if we can, but theirs is angled. It literally drops and drops and drops, as you can see. This goes down, then this piece goes down, so on. And so does that main one that they had running next to this fence that went through here. It angled down, 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 and that's why it went under this bridge in that kind of way. Okay, otherwise your bridge is going to land if you put the level right over here, your bridge is gonna be sitting on top of the water. And then all this is going to be buried. This is all going to mean it's not going to land right. You see what I'm saying? That's what my problem was I was having. So focus on the bucket, get it, and do just a bit of it in the just about the lower half of it, like less than half, even a fourth or whatever, just this little bottom piece. Make the water look like it's landed in it right there. And if you eyeball that one, then your building's at the right level, and then you can just make this piece of water. And we're going to keep these other pieces of water that's going to be over here. We're going to bring them in, and we'll use them. We just can't use that big river one. Okay? All right? So that's it. Put your building where you want it. So if you don't know how to get the building in there, go to your Riverbend map, which I'll just show you real fast. The same path that you just took, you can, so say you go back one, or back to data, okay, after you went through D drive and all that stuff I told you, then go to maps US, then double click on maps US i3D, then click OK on the Giants editor you want to open, which would be the 10.0.9 one. And it'll open Riverbend. Okay, go in Riverbend and export that building or the productions group. So if you pretend this is now Riverbend, it's going to look like this. You're going to open map, you're going to open locations, you're going to open one building folder. You won't have two, that's just extra for temporary. And then you're going to open productions, and then you'll be able to get the paper mill. You click it, you could export it with selection with files, or you could click on this whole production points area and get all the buildings. That's what I suggest you do. And if you already did that, then you would already have the paper mill, and you can just hit Control B, left mouse click, get your water level right with that bucket, and then we'll move on from there. All right? So depending on what you do, if you're new, you can pick this paper mill one, get the whole group. Paper mill. Whoops, I accidentally opened another one. Get this whole group right there, and then you would hit File, Export Selection with Files. If you want the production one, then hit File, Export Selection with Files. Either one of these that you hit File, Export Selection with Files. Okay, so that's what you would do. I'll just temporarily show it to you. You'd hit File, Export Selection with Files, go to wherever your map is, open it to all the way to your map, My Games, if that's where you put it, wherever you put it. FS25, Mods, and in this case my map name, Maps US. Make a new folder, call it Production Points _ area, or you could call it Paper Mill if you only grabbed the paper mill and you didn't grab the production point. Whatever you grabbed, make the new folder. Type the new folder here. It'll be right here. It'll just say new folder, and then you type a name, then open the new folder that you made. So say this was the one I just made. Open it. It'll be empty. Then you click down here and type production points _ area, or if you had done only the paper mill, you would type paper mill. You could write it exactly like you see it if you want to. Hit save, and then hit yes, and then hit yes to both questions. There's two questions. Hit yes and yes, and then you'll have it. It'll put it here for when you come back. It'll be in there. I'm gonna hit cancel. You're gonna come back to your map, so you'll hop from the Riverbend map back into the Giants editor with your map that you're gonna be working on. Make sure you go on the right map, and then go to File, Import, and then you'll go all the way back through, and it should bring you right back to the last spot that you was. So obviously in this case it was here, but if it wasn't, it would have been right where you were. It would have said production points. You would have clicked it, you would hit open, and it would have came in. But if it wasn't, just go back through to wherever yours is. Documents, My Games, FS25, Mods, your map name, if that's where you put it. Go all the way through to wherever you put it, okay? To the production point area and so on. I'll go ahead and take you there so for the beginners. FS25. Now this is where mine is. Yours might not be there. Hopefully it is, and it'll make more sense. Come in here, find it. In this case it's this. Then I would click that and click open. If it said paper mill, then you would click that and click open. Whatever you brought in. Alright? And now you could just hit the middle scroll wheel and drag it up into whichever folder you need to put it in. So if you don't have these other folders, make them. Hit create, transform group, write it out right here. It'll be say transform, just write the name locations, then make another one. Create, transform group, write it out buildings, and then hit the buildings one, hit the middle scroll wheel, drag it into locations, let go, it'll put it in there. Hit the locations, hit the middle scroll wheel, drag it into the word map, and it'll put it in there. And then if you had brought this one in, production point area, that has all them buildings in it like that, you hit the middle scroll wheel on that and drag it into buildings, and it'll put it in there. And if you only brought in the paper mill thing, you can hit the middle scroll wheel and drag it into a productions area thing. If you don't have one, click create, transform group, write productions points _ area, then click on paper mill and drag it into the production points area, then put the production points area into the buildings folder with the middle scroll wheel. Okay? Now that you have it in your map, sorry for the people that don't want to hear that over and over, but I'm doing it so it can be a standalone video. If someone comes just for the paper mill, then they get all the information, okay? And so I'm sorry. So you're going to hit click on the paper mill and Control B, left mouse click, wherever you want it, adjust it, get it figured out, put that barrel where I told you to put it. So now we need to bring the water in, but we got to put this in a transform group so that it can be moved as a whole thing, right? We can always pull this back out of the transform group and stick it back in here when we've finished it, okay? So it can still come back in here, don't panic. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to create a transform group. It's going to put it at the bottom. You could name it if you want to. If you don't really have to, because you're going to be getting rid of it later anyway. Just depends on what you want to do. So you're going to have that. Then you're going to click back on your Papermill wherever it is. Make sure you get the whole group. Hit the middle scroll wheel. Hold it down and drag it down into the transform group. Okay? I'm not going to do it. I'm just telling you, and I'll show you what the other one looks like. And let go of it, and it'll be within this transform group. Just like you see this one, it's in a. This one has two because I showed you how to do that one transform group because I stuck it where I could move it closer. Then I put it within another transform group. So I stuck it in. I put the transform group where I wanted to be grabbing from, and then I stuck the building this in that transform group after I had put the transform group where I wanted it, so I could grab closer to where I wanted it. Then I put it within a different one, okay, just so it can grab and hold everything so I can move it without an issue, right? Okay, so then we're going to bring the water in and put it within that so that we can move it in a lump sum, right? So, but I still had to move the water and maneuver it into place. Now, if I had been able to get it to work right when I exported from Riverbend, then it would already be in place where theirs was, and I wouldn't have had to done that. But the water wouldn't work that way. Now, if it was just a one-off chance that it didn't work that way, and I just the only one that had issues with it, then great. Sorry that, try it. Try it the way I told you before about putting pieces all together and exporting the whole thing so they stay together. But if it don't work for you and you're having the same water problem I'm having, then you need to do this. Okay, that's all I can tell you. If you want this particular building with those pieces. Now, we're going to have to delete some of them, but we'll bring it in. So what we're going to do is go ahead, and I guess I should just do it for y'all because I don't want y'all to get confused. We're going to put this in that transform group. Hit the middle scroll wheel, drag it down. I don't want y'all to be confused. I know it's a lot. Alright, let's get it on down. I got a lot of transform groups. It's alright though. We'll clean it up later. Don't let go of it till you get it down there. And when it highlights, let go. Oh, it didn't do it. Ah, you little rascal. Make sure you get the whole group now. Middle scroll wheel. Down we go. My mouse is... I don't like pressing the middle scroll wheel button. That's just not my thing. It's just irritating to me. Alright, now, but that's what we need to do. So, I'm going to hold it over it, let go. Now, stick it in there, people. Alright, it's in there. Now that's all in one group, so if I wanted to move it, I could. Now, I'm not going to move it. Just pretend that y'all already moved it, right? Go ahead and y'all move it and get your barrel where you need it, right? Now you got it all figured out. You molded. You did all that stuff I told you to do about the transform group and the molding and getting everything at the levels. This spot's got to come up. As you can see, I didn't finish that spot, but the rest of it you can see pretty well. It looks like this piece went. What? Oh, no wonder. This isn't the one I molded. This is one I was sort of molding but never finished. But basically, after you've molded it and everything, you're ready to do the water. Okay, so now we're going to go and import the water. So click File, Import, and go to the water. Now obviously mine popped up, but the path is go to D, and in my case yours could be C. Steam Library, Steam Maps, Common, FS25, so wherever you installed your game, Data, Maps, Maps US, and then Textures. and then click on the water plane and click open. Okay. Uh, I guess I'll do it. Hopefully it doesn't conflict anything out. I don't trust it anymore after what I had to go through. Now that that's in here, I'm going to go ahead and drop it within this transform group. Uh, Let me see. No, actually I had put it within another transform group. Let me do that. Oh no. First I got to do one other thing. So what I did is I put it within one, but I made myself go to where this was. So number 7, 8, and 10 is going to be the ones we want. That's these pieces that come down this little slope piece. And so I clicked on 7, and I would go say to 7. Uh, and obviously you got 2 sets of them, as you see right there. So let me back out so y'all can see a little bit. So if I click 8, you'll see 8 is coming down, and those little cement things is here and like over there, like here, right there. And then it goes into that building, remember the little thing, and then the little boat and the little buildings here. So we want this one, we want the next piece, and we want this piece, which is 7, 8, and 10. So we're going to get rid of the other ones, which is the one I told you that is just too long to deal with, and I'm not putting it on my map because it causes too much problems, obviously. But it is slanted. It's coming down, 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 down. It's not flat. It's not like just perfectly level with your map. So that's why that thing is an issue. See how it's coming down right here? Look how drastically it curved. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I did that with that bridge. So we're going to delete that. So highlight the water plane 1 and hit delete. Then hit water plane 1 at the bottom and hit delete. That's the mirror. Okay, now hit the 2, water plane 2 and delete. Now go to the bottom and hit the water plane 2 there and delete. Now you're going to do the same for number 3 and delete, and then 3 and delete. And then 5 you're going to delete, and then the other 5 you're going to delete. Alright, for this particular building. Now if you were keeping any of that and you already had it, then whatever, okay? It's up to you, but I'm not keeping the rest of it. At least at this point. If I need to bring something in, I will, but at this point I'm not looking to. Alright, so now we see there, and there are the pieces I need. Okay, and we'll still have to create that other little piece because we didn't get that river piece, and we're not going to be able to use it, so we're going to have to make something for the other piece. Alright, so now we have both of these sets, the mirrors and the regular. So now we can put it in a group. But before we put it in a group, what I suggest you do, and what I did, is I came down, because this is the part I'm mainly going to be looking at and using to mold. So I'm going to come down to the spot right here so that when I put my transform group, it's right where I'm going to be trying to work. Okay? Alright, so now I'm going to make a transform group. If you follow along, you can do it now. And now the transform group's here. I'm going to hit Control B, left mouse click, click. It's going to put it right here. If you want, you can straighten it a little better, so hopefully it makes more sense. And then take the water planes and hit the middle scroll wheel and drag it into that transform group. And what that does is makes it so where you can grab it here, and when you move, it moves all of it. You'll get to move that whole piece. And now we can go to our paper mill, which we had just put in this transform group right here. So what I'll do is click on that and go back over there, go back to your paper mill first, and then you can click on the water one that you brought. Okay, so pretend you already molded, everything's ready to go. For the most part, you're still going to have to do a little molding, obviously. And then you're going to click on this transform group, hit Control B as in boy, left mouse click. And if it don't work, just go back and make sure. If it did, then there you go. Make sure it's highlighted on the transform group part, not the water plane part. And then you can drag this over here, because you know that's where it goes. You're going to twist it because you know that this piece right here is straight. Then you're going to pull it over. Then you're going to pull it forward. I should have put my arrow as straight as this one was. I had it crooked, and so I was having all kind of problems. Make sure you straighten your arrow like this one is, because it'll help a little bit. Then you're going to just keep wiggling this around and moving it, and you'll have to get the height right. Can be a pain, trust me. Alright, so come down to this level and try to get this lifted up to that where it touches that one. It's kind of hard. Then you can bring it over, and you're going to have to move a bunch of times to get it where you really are right, because sometimes you move one way and then you have to move it again, and so it never gets quite right. Every time you move, it's like a little off. And then once you get it, you're going to want to get that water level as best that you can at that same level. And if it's not there, we can always bring it up later uh, a little more. So just bring it up a little more. And then come back up. And you need to see how we're not right. This needs to come out more. So come back up higher, straight up over it. Try to get where you can get your arrow. It's hard. And then pull it on over to there. Then you may have to go over again, see, because it keeps changing. And then if you see, oh, I went too far, I need to back up, back up. I think we're pretty good. It's not perfect. You can see it's slightly crooked. If you'll look at this right here, this side's a little narrower than this side's thicker. So, and you can see that's not centered either. So you're going to gently grab this, barely move it, and then you're going to move it over just a little. And just keep working with it till you get it. And you'll have to get closer and move and get right in there to see if you're even in the right spot. And then you'll be able to tell, you can go in game if you have to tell what level your water is. But pretty much you're going to have to try to angle yourself in such a way that you know you're there. It kind of don't look like it's there, honestly. It looks like we need to go up. But you got to make sure you grab the right thing. Don't spin it. Make sure the arrow highlights. And then we'll lift it up some more. See it? Just see that little... It's kind of hard to tell. But you're going to want to get that as best that you can at that level. Okay, you can readjust it later. But then line that up. If you line this one up, the rest should be pretty close. See? There you go. They're right. So that's why you would do it that way. And then you can see that's where it's going to hit. Now it don't look like it's it looks like it should go further. I don't know. This one hitting here. See what you need. You're going to have to make sure that this hits right too. So you'll have to check it, because one's going to hit on one side and one's going to hit on the other side. Now this one is lower, is why they got it further back. It's going to hit on this concrete, not up here. So you do need it to be on the concrete down here, not up here. That's why it's wider on that side. You see how it's further away? So this is the side you got to focus on. So you may have to scoot it up a little more, because this side can hit this. See, this side is going to hit that. Like so. So you do need it to go far enough to hit it. So you do have to watch that. And you could go in game and check it, but you may have to scoot that one more over. Okay? So that may have to go more that way. You see what I'm saying? To touch that. So, and you just look at these and get them wherever they need to hit, and make sure that it lines up and it's over far enough. And this one's not quite over far enough. So it's kind of a pain, I ain't gonna lie. If you need it to go over a hair, don't go much. Again, because you got that other side, you got to worry about this piece. So, and if you have to, sometimes you have to twist it some more. But you can see, as long as you get it close, it's not got to be perfect. As long as there's water, it doesn't, this part, as long as the water's showing up between these things, you're good. Don't worry about it. This piece don't have to hit over here. And it don't have to be centered either, because you're going to mold the ground up. See? And then that's going to hit over here. Alright? And then when you mold your ground, it would be way up here. You're going to mold your ground flat to where it lands right here. And then you'll have a pond or something up here, or whatever you have, another river or whatever that runs into there. You need something to make sense that it would come there, okay? And then, because they had like a little trickle of their pond that was running next to it, that went to it. And then the ground's going to come up to here, to this. So you bring it up to here, but you got to watch out, like I told you. It's going to go in, and then you're going to pull it back, and it's a lot of work. So mold that ground very carefully. Then you need to mold the ground up high enough to this so that this is not out floating like that. That could have been what was causing the water to do that, because there was nothing, no dirt level to that spot where it would be in there. It was able to just say, okay, the water just keeps going, right? So I don't know if that was it or what was it, but I had molded my dirt up to this level, and then you saw how I did it. I just put dirt on just a little bit in within this and a little bit within that side, and do it all the way down, a little on this side that where it touches it, so that the water goes up to the dirt. All that would be dirt. All this side would be dirt up to this water. All the same down here. You can see over here that this would have to go down further. You can see you got a boat ramp and everything. You got to do all that, and you got to make sure that that's going to hit all that. See, which it should. As long as you got that other level over there right, it should match over here. So if it don't, then that's, you know, you need to go up or down, okay, accordingly, to get it where you need it. Now then you would mold this ground down. You would just go to your building and come and put a transform group on this concrete. So just make a transform group, and then hit Control B as in boy, left mouse click, grab this number, grab height, click on height, throw that in there and paste it. Come back, hit the sculpt mode. I'll do it real quick and just to show you, and then I can hit undo. Alright, and then that right there, hover over that spot, it'll bring that down to that exact level that you just did, and then you know, okay, there's my building. And you know, you come on over here and there's your dock, and you try not to go too far. You go to that fence piece. You got two sets of fence here on each side. You don't want to go too far because you got the fence back here, but you got a gate here, so you know you're going to be probably slanting something here, right? And you could slant all this, and or you could bring it down more right there, and then start smoothing and slant it like it's a hill, you know. And you could move this one all the way over here and just smooth it and have a big steep hill on the back, and then that comes down. But what you're going to do is you're going to have to look to get this dock needs to touch ground, but this guy needs to float, this side. So then you would mold your, let me hit it, you would get this water level down low enough, not too deep, but deep enough to be like a little pond or reservoir or whatever this is supposed to be. And then you would hit Control R where you had wanted the level to be down under there, and then left click and bring it over here and get that on that dock. Now then Control R over here if you went too far, and then you can just tap it to get this back touching like so. And then Control R back over here to mold the ground back further. And what you're going to do is mold the ground however you see fit to make it look the way you want it to with the water that's there, right? And you got your boat, right? And you're going to smooth it. Alright? So what you can do is come up, click on the water, and you'll know where to smooth or where to mold. So you're going to click on the sculpt mode, and then wherever that level was that you had, so go back to the level you chose for the deepness of the pond or whatever, and then you can bring, and you know you got these that you don't want to go past that. So the water, even though the water could go back here, in this case I don't want it to, because I got a building here I'm going to have on the ground. So you're going to keep the water in front of the fence pieces, and then you come this way and you can go out as far as that water is, and you come over to this side and you come back over here, and you just get all that water down. And you can do it all the way over here, all the way up to this line, all the way up to there, and then all the way up to here. And then you just take all that out of the middle, and that will be your water. You can smooth it and get it all, hit smooth, and get it all situated, right? And the other spots, just need to make sure, again, that the water level is not like this. See how it's floating past? You need to build your ground up to cover that. Okay? So at that level, that needs ground. So you need to build ground up right here till it hits that level. So basically this piece here. So you would hit the sculpt mode, you would grab up higher on this hill, Control R, and then you'll be able to replace to get that up to this little area. This needs to be up to about right there. Of course, you know your fence. If you've already molded it, then you kind of already have this part done, but you get my point, right? And so now that water has a place to be, a boundary. And so then you're going to come over here and you can see that the water will land, and you can smooth it and you can get it all right. You can knock that back a little and you got your fence. And then the water's going to come up to your little thing here, and you can, like I said, you can smooth this flatter all the way over to here and then smooth it like it's a beach area or whatever. Then you'll have your pond. So that's what you do there. And again, make all the ground come up at least to that level, okay, so that the water can have somewhere to be. And then this, make sure it landed where it needs to be so that it'll work. Now obviously it looks like it's over further, so you would definitely need to move it if it wasn't in the right spot. And you don't need to move it individually. You need to move it as a whole group. If you move them separately, you're going to have problems. Use the transform group we made to move it. And you see there that helped. And if I had to, I could twist it to get the other pieces where they need to be, right? And so then, once you've got that part hooked up to this building right, if you had to, you could have put it in the transform group. You could have done this separately before you put the building where you wanted it, and you could have put the water, match it to that first, those little pieces, and then hit the middle scroll wheel, drag that transform group into the transform group that you put the paper mill in, and then you could just move it all as a whole, the water and the little pieces, and then hit Control B, put it where you want it, and mold the ground. Just depends on how you want to do it. You can do it either way, okay? Because that's how I had to do it, or how I actually ended up doing it. But I already had my building in the right spot, so I copied my numbers over to put my building where I actually wanted it. You could do that too. Say I already know that this is the building I had wanted, then I could have came in and got the numbers for it and put them in do a new paper mill, put the numbers there after I'd already added the water to it, just so that it would at least get to the right spot. But you really need to do it, I would say, the way I just showed you, because then you have them already in place, and you don't have to throw it within there is the point. But you do have to leave it. You could throw it within there, but you do need to leave it in here. Now you can still have this out of this transform group. Once you're done, you can pull that out of there, hit the middle scroll and drag it out, and well, it didn't come. Drag it out of the transform group. Okay, why are you being naughty? Alright, let's get this out. What is it doing that for? It ain't wanting to do it. Let me close it. Let's try it. There we go. You just keep doing it. My middle scroll wheel's just not cooperating, but you can see it's still where it needs to be. So you don't need the transform group anymore. You could delete it. Just don't delete the one that you got your building in, because we'll be moving our building into that production point area. So once you're done with all the water and the building and the molding and all the shaping of everything, now remember, you're going to have to come down through this tunnel area and mold out and knock all this out so that the water flows through. Now, again, your water level's not going to hit where this one does. We're going to have to make one that does. This side does, just because that's where I had landed it. But this side wasn't landing right. Okay? My barrel is not landing where it needs to. The water's way above it. See? So that's why I said use your barrel as the water level, and then we'll make a little piece for this. Okay? Or that comes out the back for like a piece of a river or something. Like a small one. Alright? So now that we have all that done, we're gonna have to delete some of these pieces. Um, let me think about. Let me go back and show you the other one, and then we'll do the XML work. I just want to make sure I told you everything. All right, yeah. So you can see how I did it. This is what mine looks like, and then I still got to mold stuff. It's got a little bit. You got a little gate area here. You could mold that up a little better or make it some way, footpath or whatever. This is all got to be molded and everything. You can see here this is a different level than this side. You got a lot of molding to do. Okay? And again, this side here is not landing on water. We're going to have to make a water plane at that level where this lands on it that will run through this at that same level as this, that run over here, that'll run down at an angle and land somewhere under this bridge to meet up with this water here where y'all can't see it. It'll be like a little piece, and then it'll suddenly you look over here and you see this water instead, and it'll be a different water. Hopefully it'll work out. That's the only way I could come up with doing it, because we couldn't use the river bend's big long river piece. Okay, now I think that's it, and we're going to go ahead and do the XML work. But as you can see, I built this area up where I didn't the other side. You need to get your poles right. Put that like that. You need this stuff to land here. You need your little production point area, or whatever your pallet spawning. I don't know what goes here. And then this is a little slope thing, see? And then over here is all that. So the road and the bridge. Now remember, I stopped it here because I didn't have a river or nothing. I'm not putting one yet. But I'll have to take this water up something and either meet that other water, which I probably won't because I need it to be higher. It's going to have to be a little higher, about I don't know, I'm not sure how to say how high it needs to be. It needs to be about this high. So the water's going to have to be up that about at that level. So I'll have to run something somewhere, maybe a big spot of water here that comes down to this to make sense that it goes through and then goes out. That's what I'm going to have to do to make it make sense. Okay, because them ain't going to connect in any kind of way. These are higher than this other water. You see what I'm saying? Alright, so that ought to do it. Make this land here so you can drive across. Your other building, you need to mold your stuff here like this. Mold this stuff like this. Match this up where they can walk out on there. All that good stuff. Get these, put these where they're supposed to be. Mold everything where it's supposed to be, as you can see. And you can make this a little better. This is just how the end game is. So that's just how it looks. Alright. So now we're going to go ahead and do our XML work and our store item and go in game and check it. But I appreciate everybody. I hope you enjoyed. We're going to go and jump in and get to it. Now you need to save, but you need to move this out of here. So what I'm going to do is delete the other ones first, and then y'all ignore that, and then I'm going to show you how to put this in that productions folder, and then we'll go do the XML. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and delete this other one that we did that's on the other side, and I'm going to hit delete, and then I'm going to delete the water planes that we did that's on the other side and delete that. Now this one, these transformed groups, I can delete because they're not necessary. They're just random transformed groups. And then this one, I can move out of that folder, so we'll move it out. We're going to drop it down here so we can delete that transform group because it had nothing in it because we took that out. And now we can take the paper mill and we can drag it up and put it in that other folder. But before I do, I need to go back up to the productions folder because I got so many of them that I was testing to see where I was going to put it. I need to delete them. So I'm going to roll up to there. Apologize for all this stuff being open. There we go. Close some of it so it won't take so long. Alright, so these two paper mills are got to be deleted because I'm not using them. Those were just me testing stuff. And now we don't have a paper mill in this production area, but we're fixing to because we're going to come down here and click on our paper mill. We're gonna close the folder, the one that's in the transform groups. Remember that we stuck here, and I'm gonna click on the paper mill only, just that piece, and I'm gonna hit middle scroll wheel, okay, and drag it up till and hold it down till I get all the way to the production point folder. As soon as I get to the production point folder, I can hover over it and let it go, and it'll put it in there. Then I gotta click it, then right click and move it up, and then right click it again and move it up till it gets to the right spot. Right click, move up, because I'm putting it in alphabetical order. Right click and move up. Okay, LMNOP. There we go. It's in the right spot. And then Q, R, there's an R, S, and so on. So now it's in the folder. So now it's as if you didn't even use that transform group. So you can get rid of it. So these two transform groups right here can go bye-bye. Bye. And then this water plane, you can leave it separate because it's just a water plane and that's how they did it. You can leave it separate, or you could stick it. You could stick these within your other one, because I have one up here that's got my other pieces. But for now, I'm going to leave it because it worked. Now that one I got to redo, but the rest of it works because, you know, I got to make it in Blender or whatever. So that'll come later. But as you can see, this is what ours looks like for now. We're not finished molding it. And we got to make another river piece, but that'll be later. I can't do it all in one episode. Alright, and so now we have all that in here. And you can, like I said, just leave that water plane. You don't have to put it within your Papermill folder or nothing like that. So now, it's just be patient, let it do its thing. It's going to take some time. You did a lot of work. And I know I did a lot of work. So, and I did a lot of molding. I'm going to just warn you in advance, it takes a lot of molding. So get ready for some hours and hours of molding. And I still wasn't through, but I had to go on and make the video because I don't want to just sit around and mold forever. Oh, moldy jewel, mold, mold, mold. My. And then once we save it, we can go get that XML and get on in the game. I'm not going to be driving there. Hopefully I can just throw something from the power tool in there. But you'd be able to drive there if you had whatever needs to be done here. But at least the water's going to work now. Now you don't need to mix the water from that side over here where the little boat is, with that other side where the river piece is. That's separate. That little piece where I didn't finish, where you see at the top of the building. I can't really put here. I'll put the cursor there. This piece, don't mix it with this piece. That's separate. It goes on this side. They had a river piece there. You don't have to put yours exactly like theirs, but it does need to come to here. Okay? Because this water's separate. It's a whole nother level. It's up higher. Alright, now that that's saved, we're ready to go do our Placeables XML. Now, we're going to come on over, go into your main game area again, wherever that is. If you went to open your map like I showed you, just then go up top to config. If not, go back through all those paths that I showed you, D drive, Steam library, or C drive, program files 86, and so on, to wherever you need to be in wherever your Farming Simulator 25 is installed. And then when you get in here, go to Farm Sim 25 Data Maps, Maps US, then config, open it, go to Placeables, right click, edit with Notepad++, come in here and find your Papermill. Okay, so here it is right here in the list. If you don't have it there, hit Control F. Make sure you hit Control before hitting F. If you don't, you'll type an F in there and you need to backspace it and get it out of there and hit save so you don't mess up your in-game stuff. Or if you panic, just close it and don't save it, and it'll take the F away and you can reopen it. Then when this box pops up, type out Papermill or paper. You could type paper and hit find next, and it'll go to it. It'll go to that word, and then you'll see, oh, there it is. And so then you're gonna see this is your map icon, which is that icon that shows that picture of the building when you click on that icon in game. So that's what that is. It's gonna call out of this path that. And then this one is the I3D that calls the I3D the building, and it's the unique ID. So we're going to left click at the end of this placeable right under here and get all three pieces. This, the customized image, and the other placeable one. Right click and click copy. Go ahead and close out that little control F thing. And then go to your map, wherever it is. And in this case, this is my Jules Peaceful Valley. Wherever your map is, open your maps, Maps US, and config folder. Okay? And if yours config is in maps, then go there. Wherever it is. It may not be where mine is. If yours is in an XML folder, then config or whatever. Or if your placeables XML is in an XML folder, go there. I don't know. Everybody's different. Click on placeables, right click at it with Notepad++. Come into your place, and now you can see I already have it. Okay. But it's the same number. If you look up here at this one, it says 697. So when I paste it at the bottom, you'll see it's the same. I'll delete mine, but I'm going to show y'all what you would do. If you know where you're going to put it, say you're going to put it up here. I didn't even realize I had one already in here. I guess I had done it. Oh, I had done it for the bridge because I couldn't drive across there without that being there, and it don't show up unless you have the XML. So that's why I had done it for the bridge. But anyway, so my paper mill was in here for that reason. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been in here. But if you know you want your paper mill up higher, you can come up here and hit it. You could click here or wherever you want it. So make sure you click at the end. So highlight that and click at the last part of the two purple things. That's where you know to click. So if it's this, you click here. If it's a single line, let me find one. I don't know if we should have one somewhere. Well, that's got 4. I guess we don't have one. But if there is a single line where they don't have these two, then you would click at the end of that single line. But if it clicks like this, you're going to click at the end of this right here. So in this case, I would say go on to the bottom, hit enter, right click at the beginning and hit paste. It'll paste it in. Then hit save and you'll be good to go. Now I'm going to undo that. I'm going to backspace, click down here, move over, backspace, and then hit save. So you do it that way, get it in there, hit save, you're good to go. Now we're going to go to the store items. Go back to your store items in your main game, wherever you installed your game. Go there, right click at it with Notepad++, and come find and see if it has a paper mill. It does. If you have a blank store items area and you need this information like that, then left click, hold down, drag over, right click, and hit copy. Go put it in your store items in your map. If you did like I said and you kept this whole thing in here and you're putting all the buildings in there or most of them, and then you'll delete what you don't, then you already have all this information and your paper mill's already in there and you don't even got to do anything. So it just depends on what you've already done. So I'm going to go to my map to show you. Go to your store items, wherever that is, right click at it with Notepad++. Mine's already in here. But if it wasn't, like I say, if you have a blank one, hit to the end of store items up here, hit enter, right click and click paste. Then hit save and it'll be between the other store items would be right up at the top up here underneath where you had just pasted. And so hit save. But I'm not going to do that because I don't need it. So I'm going to hit back. Oh, I got to delete it. Hang on. Delete it. And there we go. And hit save. And we should be good. Hopefully I didn't accidentally click anything. No. And when I have my paper mill, we're all good. And we already saved the Giants editor. Make sure you save it if you didn't. And we're ready to go in game. So now we have everything we need and it should work. Alright. So get on in game and show you that it works. But I appreciate everybody. I hope you enjoy, and smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel grow. Please watch the videos, even if it's some repetitive stuff, because it does help. I know that it's a lot, but it does help because it pushes the video out to others so they can see it, and it helps the channel grow. So I thank you so much, and appreciate everybody. Hope it's helping some people do some map stuff. I'm trying to show some of the original stuff instead of the separate buildings that don't have all this detail, so that y'all can see kind of how to do it, because a lot of times you throw the other buildings on there instead, and I just wanted to show some of the ones that was actually on Riverbend so y'all could see how to do it, and that's just how you would do it. And you just got to troubleshoot a lot of times. That's all you got to, there ain't nothing you can do. Sometimes stuff don't work. You got to do it again. So we're going to go on and get in. No tour. Go to the map. In we go. And I'm going to catch you right when we get in the map. Alrighty then. Let's go on and jump in. In we go. Hit escape. Now we need to back out. We'll find our Papermill. Now it was over here before, but now we got it over here, and looking and see what we got. Now we have the Papermill picture, and you can visit, you can manage, you could buy, you could tag. It's a production point because it's blue, and so we're gonna go ahead and visit and look what we got. And listen, our feet aren't walking in water like it was before. Because of that water back there. Now, there's our spot to dump stuff. You can see the little trigger marker. And then, of course, we would have a road. If you wanted to do a road, you got this little thing here. Hit R, I guess. Oh, that sells wood. That's a wood sell point. You can see it highlight up there in the top left corner. It says R to sell wood, so you would put wood on this spot and sell it. And then there's another one. I think this maybe. I thought there was two, but I guess it's just one. Okay. There's just one right there for wood sale. Oh, the others are on the other side. But anyway, let's go over here and look at this. You can see the ground, how that all hits the ground. Looks like that might be floating, so I'll have to move this up a little, this ground piece up just a hair. It's a little bit floaty right there. And then you can see this needs to be pushed down just a little more, but this part matches right here, so you can't go too far with this piece because some of theirs does still have a weird angle. And this we need to add a little bit here, but if you do too much, you block this whole window. So it's a whole issue the way they made it. I don't know why they made it this way. And then all that, you can see I got to put a little bit more right there. It's not quite there. And you come on up here, and you got this gate. You got to try to mold all this accordingly. You can see you can make this, and I can move this further if I want, or however I want to do it. You can put these at this level so that they don't go underneath there. You can see all that matches. That one could go down just a hair right there where that door frame is. And then that one's setting where the forklift could go under it, but it really, you're not going to be doing that. And I got to clean this little piece up, as you can see. There's little things, and you can see, but it matches, it lands right on there. So a road would go wherever it was going to go, wherever I take it. And then a river would go right through here and off up beside this fence. A waterway would be right here, and it would head off up this way. And then if I decide to take it up a hill into a pond or whatever, And so then this fence will have to be molded into the ground right. And then you can see this, you'd need to mold this up a little closer, try to. And then you got this up here, you come up and look. Oh, look, you see your water. See? And see what I meant by molding your ground up to touch the water. Otherwise, it's going to be floating out into nowhere land, right? And I got to smooth that, as you can see. But you're just going to get your water all the way up. See this piece right here? See that? You can kind of see it. See, I should have probably made it curve a little more right here so that it would bring the ground just a little bit more up to define where this water hits. See how it hits the edge there? It looks better if you bring the ground up just a little bit higher. See? So that it makes more sense. And then this needed to be down lower, so I'd have to get that down lower. But as you can see, you can swim in it if you put it deep enough. You see? And it goes over there to this. And they're just showing it as if the water level has already went down and it's not going to open. Because these open when the water level gets a certain level. And then you come on this side, you got this little bridge. And if you can build your stuff up where you can get up there, that's what you got to do. And of course you could just peek down and see if that water landed in such a way that made sense. And then you come on that side and look and see. And then you can see it from back here. And then make sure you mold this up, and you don't have to make it quite that high. I can make it lower, and then you'll have this waterway, and just make sure this comes up in a decent way. Get this built up more right there. You can see how it flows down nicely, and there'll be a river somewhere along, or you could turn it and make it go off another direction if you want to, but you still need something back here that starts it. So I would need to have some sort of water something back here, like a big pond or some big something or another where this is the beginning point of the water. And then I would mold this down to make it where it made sense, where the water touches that. I'd have to make this come up just a little for the bridge. And then you can see you'll have the water pond back here, and you turn around and you'll have this. You can make this lower. You can put it about that level or wherever, get that down lower so you can see better around the bend, and then you got that, you see. So, and whatever reason they put these like that, and I don't like that, but that's what they did. And then this green here would go a little bit lower, but you couldn't go too much lower because this piece don't go very far down. So if you go any much lower, it's not going to look right. But you can come over here at an angle and get this side lower, so you could come up to about right here and then make it slope up, and then make that deeper if you want. You can paint it whatever colors you want down there, you know, rock or whatever you're gonna do with it, right? You can see how that's hitting, and if we jump in there we can swim. See, so it works. We're stuck. We're gonna drown. Oh boy. Alright, let's get on down there and do the actual functioning. No, we gotta go to that other spot. I want to show y'all. Oh, we're about to fall. Did that make a noise? Okay, we're good. Alright, so that's just something floating. That's not nothing. This can be moved down if we don't want it this high. All that's got to be molded, as you see. I got a lot of work to do still. So I just didn't want to do all that. I wanted to show y'all how it would look, so y'all could get the picture, you know, how it's going to flow down this. And you can bring it up as high as you need, and then you can you can mold that. And then it looks like we got this area. See, we could mold this down a little more because the fence is a little lower, and we could slope this a little better. We didn't add it. I'm so glad I came and looked, or y'all wouldn't have known. Oh, we gotta add that XML for the building. I forgot. Sorry, we're gonna have to go back in game. I know it's a long video. The building. This building's got to be added in XML, but everything else is there, as you see. But it will work. It's just got to be added. I forgot. I gotta find out what that building's called. In that, you always need to look through like where you click on the Papermill app. Always open it and click down through it, and any pre-placed things that you see in there, you need to add the XML for it. And that's what I forgot to do. Okay, and then this is the little thing for the boat, and you can see, and if we'd have painted all that, it would have made sense, you know, or we could have brought this further back lower so that it's deeper of a pond and you wouldn't even see down there. But however you want to paint it, then you can see you can jump in and swim and then go over there to that and everything. If we go over here, you'll be able to see where that is. Now, we may not have put it at the right level. Is it floating? Kinda. But I ain't too worried about it. But you can see that's what it looks like. I mean, I think it's okay. Looks okay to me. I'm happy with it. I don't care. If it needed to have gone higher, then you can lift it higher. But you're gonna have to save it and redo the thing, and then make sure this comes up high enough to make sure that this don't fall out of the map. And you can see over here, it's too far. That's what I was telling y'all. get this ground over here to come up to there, or you're going to have a line. And I didn't bring my ground up far enough. It needs to come all the way to this and then straight over. I need to have my ground come all the way right here up to the, like about this level, just so that don't look like that. So you can see under there, but you can see it still works. But just make sure you mold your ground accordingly, and then if it needs to come back, you can come back a little wherever you need to mold, right? And that's that spot. And then of course you got your bridge that you go across, and you'll be, the other river thing's going to be over here. And then this spot is a road, and you can go up that way or whatever. You can go down that way on the other side. We can move that back. You got these parking spots here, like so. Then you come over here. You got a lock gate right here. So you need to, oh, we got to put the ground up for this. So we need to mold the ground up to that. There's just certain little things, smooth that a little more. And then come down, you'll drop down. And then this level, you'll come over here to this spot for, I guess, pallets or whatever they spawn here. And then you come over here, and we'll have to smooth all this entryway out. But once we smooth it all, have a road. You can have a road. It's going to go down, smooth all that, move it all out. This one you need to make level. So put your transform group right at the bottom of that, so you get this spot. But you can see that this fence is so high up that all of it angles, so you're going to have to do a lot of molding and all kind of work as it goes down, 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 and it comes down. Make sure your poles are in the ground, and then make sure this spot looks like this. You can come up here and look in, and up, see, glad I showed you. I didn't get the ground out of this. Make sure you get it at this level and get all that ground out of there, so when you look in there you don't see ground. So make sure all that. So just basically hover over the top of the building and make sure just to stay within that building, and it'll get all that ground out of there. I didn't ever do that. I should have did that, and that wouldn't be in there. But that's what that is. And otherwise you can see in there that you can see what's going on in there. You can see the little stuff they got. And then of course you got all this. You can see you need to mold anything you need to do. And now you see this, and you can see where that's going to be. You got your wrench over there. You can need to mold all that. I might have to lift that up a little. You got your waterway. And again, this waterway is going to be added, and it's going to be higher. It's going to be about right here. And it's going to come, and we're going to try to somehow, unless I make it in Blender, we need it to slope. Or we'll stop it right here. And it may just look weird underneath there, you know, right in the center, so that this side is lower, so that it looks right. Because before it was landing right here, that water, if I'd have put that building where that other waterfall hits the ground, it was stopping it right here, and it wouldn't go low enough to do what it does in the river bend, and it would bury in all this stuff here. And this is what I was talking about. Measure to here. Make your water go in that bucket right there. That's what your first focus when you put it in the water and you're putting your building where you want it. Focus on that level, and the rest will follow. Okay? And then there you go. You got your little pathway. You can come up here and back over here. Alright, so we go ahead and we got to do that XML, but I will go ahead and show. This takes wood. So we'll drop some wood on here. We'll hit F12 and go to wood. Oops, my bad. I should have hit it. We'll go ahead and hit OK. And then, that wasn't right, was it? Hang on. I thought we had wood. Hang on. I guess it is in here. Okay, there we go. And then pick a tree. I'll pick a pine or something. Or this one. And then throw it in here, and then it's gonna stay. And you come over here and hit R, boom, and you see sold for the money. Now the other side, let's see, you got to activate your stuff, and the pallet stuff will come over here, and you can see how that looks. We got that as water here. You could have made the ground go to this piece. I could fix that. So, and then that needs to be smooth. But you can see it's pretty good. You know, smooth off some edges and stuff. It's a little difficult. You're gonna come over here where you can see what's going on, and just stand right here, I guess. And then we're gonna hit escape and click on this little thing here, and go to the paper factory, and then click on this. And oh, it don't show activate. Carton roll and paper roll. Oh, we didn't buy it. Of course it ain't gonna show it. Well, let's buy it. Well, it's showing it. Let me click visit. It should have showed to buy it. Let me see what's going on. It don't show an R. Oh wait, the wrench is at the other spot. Up there. Why did they take you to the wood cell? That's weird. It's over here. This is the wrench over here. That's just weird. We're stuck. Alright, hit R. Okay, we gotta borrow money to buy it. So F12, go to the money, add the money. I'm gonna just go 9999999, and then there we go, and hit R again and buy the building. Alright, here we go. Now we have it. No active productions and building storage. So now we'll go to that other spot and show you that the stuff will produce over here. And remember, we gotta fix all that. So, and paint, all that good stuff. And remember, you gotta get that green stuff out of there. You can see it will look like paper in here, and it would be looking better if I'd have got all that grass out of here. As you can see, it's got paper in there, and whatever else it's got in there. Some of it's out, but some of it's still in there. Yeah, this side's okay, and you can see. So let's look right here. Watch our stuff spawn. We'll go ahead and hit F12. Well, we don't know what we're going to put there yet. Let's hit this and see what we got to put there. Let's gotta save real quick, because then we're going to have to go get that building real quick. Find out which one it is. Where's the paper mill? Find the paper mill. Let me see. It's over here. Alright, so it's not showing. Oh, there it is. Click that, activate it, and then it tells you wood, and then it makes carton roll and paper roll. Okay, so we do got to go to the wood spot to dump it since we've activated it. And then we can come watch. So we need to go to the wood spot, like so, and put the wood in. You see the smoke, see it's working. See all the stuff. And we'll put the wood in, and then we'll be able to produce stuff. So let's do that. Uh-oh, my bad. There we go. And we'll do some pine trees. I'm just do a bunch. It's falling in there because we activated it. Otherwise it would have stacked. Alright, that ought to be enough, hopefully. So now we can go ahead and hit this. And you see we got some wood in there. And now we're going to speed up time. I think we already activated that one. We need to activate this one. They both take wood. It tells you how much it takes, and it tells you what it makes. This one's a carton roll. This one is a paper roll. So now we're going to go over to the other side. You see that smokes too. All of them smoking up there. Alright. And then we'll run over here, and we'll have to make water hit that level, and it'll go through there at that level. But on this side it'll look like this. At this level. But there's slanted. Alright. And we'll go over here, and I'll have to speed up time, and then we'll run on in the game after this produces, so that we can make the build and put that in the XML. And let me see what I'm trying to do. Right here. There we go. And back. Back. And it should go pretty quick and pop up whatever it's going to be, which would be carton roll and paper roll. And then we'll be all set. We could paint all that and make it all nice. As you can see, it works. And the water ain't, if I was to go lower than the water, like at a spot on my map where it's below those water levels, you can see I'm already below it, and I'm not floating. But before, when I brought it from Riverbend map with export selection with files, it was making me float. Only when I imported it strictly from the water plane thing and deleted the other ones and then moved them into place did it work. So I'm hoping that helps anybody who's having any kind of issue with that. Now it should be almost through. I don't know how far it has to go to produce, but I imagine about $1,000 or two, probably $2,000. We'll see. It should pop up any minute. You could make this level higher if you wanted to. You could have made it up to this right here. It just depends on what you want to do. And then it could have, then as soon as you get to about right here, drop it off so that these steps aren't blocked. It really just depends on how you want to mold your ground. It's not a mandatory thing that it be lower right here. You could go look at the in-game one to reference if you want it exactly the same. And you can see the lights work. See, the lights are on and the power poles. And all we did was the XML. We didn't do anything extra. You can see that light's on. Alright, it should be starting to produce pretty soon. It's probably 2,000. We're at 13, 14. So as soon as it hits 2,000, I'm assuming that it's going to produce. We'll see. It's taking its sweet time. But I forgot, whatever that building is, it's probably some sort of shed or some building. We gotta put it in there. In the XML place it was XML. Alright, it's almost there. Let's see if it pops up. I don't know how long it takes to make them. I hope it's gonna stock it at the 2,000 mark. My goodness, if it keeps going. Oh boy. How long does it take to make them? Not good. Oh, is it on? It should be. It's on storing. That's weird. This is the spot. Let me go look and make sure that we got it on store. It's on storing. Interesting. Selling, distributing, storing. Well, maybe it takes more than I thought to make it. But you can see we got a mess to clean up. Gotta get that grass out of there. Gotta paint this concrete or something. You can see the decals are there because you brought it in as a whole. So you have every single piece. So you don't got to do anything extra other than molding. It's a hard way, but it's an easy way. It's just hard to mold. And now we have a front view of water. Isn't that great? I like it. I'm glad I chose this spot. Got our bridge off over there. That's the little museum over there. Oh look, there's a pallet. Wonderful. Alright, 2 pallets. That's it. So now we're going to jump out and go ahead and go get the building that we need to put in there. Okay? So let's hop out and quit and go put that building in the XML so y'all can know what to do. And then we'll jump back in and just show that it's there, and then we'll end the episode. Alright, I'll be quick as I can. I'm sorry that I forgot about that piece, but is what it is. I didn't realize it was in there. Let's go find out what it is. Let's go to, it'd be easier to go to Giant Setter to find out. Click the building, go up there, open the buildings, open it, make sure you look through everything. Alright, come on down. It's going to be down lower. Alright, the fishing shed. Old fishing shed place. Open it. This is it. Always open them And if they got a pre-placed thing, then you know that you need whatever that is. So farm, shed, small, old. So that's what we got to go do. Put in the placeables XML and then it'll work. Okay? And if there's anything else there that had one, we need it. But I don't think it is. I don't see one. But if it is, put it. Okay? So we're going to go in there and find that in the placeables XML and we'll be all set. Yeah. Oh, farm, shed, small, old. My goodness. Okay, let's look over here. Let's see what this says. Okay, farm shed, small, old XML. Get the number. So see this farm shed, small, old? Go ahead and grab the last digits, 041, copy. Go back here and put that in here. And you should be able to find it. There you go. Now, this is the one. This is the exact one. Okay? Because I got the number right here, 041. You see what I did? Uh-huh. You gotta be smarter than this thing. Alright. Make sure you get the right one. Get that whole line. Okay? And right click. It technically would have worked, I think. But you'd have had to change that number. You'd have had to change the pre-placed in the i3D if you had used a different one. Copy it. So just get that whole line. And you don't need a store item or a picture because it's within there. And then go put it in your placeables XML of your map. And then we'll just go up to our Papermill and put it with it. So we'll keep it kind of together. You don't have to. But I want it to kind of stay together, I guess. It really don't matter to me. I'll put it right here and then hit enter. We could always change it if we don't like it. And there you go. That goes with that. And hit save. And now we can go on back in game because we already have the store item. And we don't have to do anything in the other area. So we'll go back in game and show you that it's there. That's it. Simple as that. Sorry, I didn't realize it was one of those buildings within there. I didn't open them and look. So you gotta look. And you know what's going on when you see something missing. You know where it is. Go look in your files of your Giants editor and see if there's a pre-placed. If there is, find out where it is, like I just showed you, and get the XML, and you'll be all set. Alright, as soon as it hops in, we'll jump in and show you the building, and then we'll end it. So, appreciate everybody. Hope this is helping. We're going to try to do some more in-depth stuff, but I'm trying to finish up the beginner, like the early stuff to do with the map, and then we'll work on some bigger things. I'm going to delete that. Go back in. And off we go. And go show you that building. We'll just pop on over. Look at all our wonderful icons. They're everywhere. Alright, let's go. Now we gotta run all the way back up there again to see the building. We'll just cut through here. And I want to go show you that the building's there. And that's it. We already showed it work, so we don't gotta do that. We could put a road in if we wanted. Then we can have a road turn and go that way. And we can have a road go that way. And look, the building's there. See? And all the stuff's within it because it already was the props. So there you go. We have our building. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call that an episode here. There is our paper mill. How wonderful. Look how beautiful it looks. But I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.